Yeah,
for sure.
we got awesome.
Oh man, I did great down there. It was wonderful.
Where are you guys now?
Jacksonville.
Up near Jacksonville.
Cool.
We're liking it a lot.
I bet.
Yes. Yeah, so we're up here near Jacksonville and pretty similar summer growing conditions, but winter got even colder than South Florida, and that just helped the lettuces even more. Although there were a few times it got too cold. So I'd say South Florida is even better, but those few months were when those wonderful days in South Florida when it's like in the 40s or 50s.
Oh yeah.
Your lettuce will be very happy when that happens. It really gets happy. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Man, I got all kinds of things going here.
Where are we streaming to, honey? Welcome.
I'm streaming to Team Transformers, Simple Changes to Better Health, and to my YouTube channel.
All right. Well,
just so I have a
Tower Garden Q&A. Welcome.
Welcome everybody. And we're gonna get started. I forgot to send a reminder to some of our friends, partner friends. So, but we're gonna make things work pretty good here. I got a couple of videos queued up. They're gonna be pretty awesome too. All right, so welcome. So basically, let me start off. My name's Doug Farrar, and my wife Sharon's on here, and a few of our other Tower Gardener friends are here. And we're with a company called the Juice Plus Company. Juice Plus is fruits and vegetables that are they take out the moisture, the water, sugar, salt, and down into powders, and that's a great product. It's been around for over 25 years. About 12 years ago, the company also started offering the Tower Garden. The Tower Garden is a technology that was developed by Tim Blank at Epcot Center in Disney. If you've ever been to Disney Epcot, you would know that if you went on the landed exhibit, there's like a little boat ride you can go on, and you see them growing all this cool produce, and it's coming from the ceilings all over the place. Well, Tim Blank is the chief horticulturalist there. He was, and he developed all this technology. And then he developed, after getting asked, probably a million times about it, he developed a home version that people could grow food in their homes using this aeroponic technology. We're going to show you guys how the aeroponics work and what it's all about. But hold on one second. Okay. So he left the Juice Plus company and the Tower Garden. He went to work for Tower Garden, which is Juice Plus. And we've acquired the rights to that. So Juice Plus is the only place you can get the Tower Garden now. It's an amazing aeroponic technology. I'm going to pop right over to a quick video that just kind of shows what the Tower Garden does and how it works. And
well, you might.
You have to mute both.
Oh, it's very difficult. You might want to have me go because it's getting dark here.
Okay. Well, let's have Sharon do a little show and tell then.
Cover some stuff for sure. Okay. That's why I'm on here with both. All right. Let's see if I can do this without.
I'll spotlight you. Don't worry.
Thank you. You asked me to unmute. Let's see. I'm unmuted.
You're good. We hear you.
And now I got the speaker. Okay. Cool. Well, we love the Tower Garden. We have, I think, 4, but right now we have 2. You have options, and you can grow them indoors or outdoors. They are vertical, meaning they don't take up as much space, and they are aeroponic and hydroponic. So right now you can hear the water running, and then it goes off for like 15 minutes, and then it comes back on for 15 minutes. And the average Tower Garden is about 5 feet tall. This has an extension of 8 more poles or pods. And so this is about 6 feet tall. And so what happens is you put water and tonic down in here, tonic that feeds the vegetables, the herbs, the fruits. It doesn't have to be different ones for different kinds. And then in here is the water, and there's a pump in there. And so the pump then comes all the way up here to what's called the shower cap. A little dirty, Dougie.
I'll work on it. It's 12 years old, you know.
It is 12 years old. So anyway, it goes to the shower cap and you can see those holes. Oh, it doesn't look so bad if I hold it way up here. It goes to the holes, the little tiny holes, and then it drips down to water these beautiful plants. So these all started off as seeds. And what I love about the tower garden is seeds don't cost hardly anything, you know? And so you can grow your own food very inexpensively. And you could come out here and grab a jalapeno at will. Look at that. There's 3 that I've got on my fingers right now. I don't know how many's there. But, and these are, you know, non-genetically modified, organic, because we're not spraying pesticide. They're raw, they're vine ripened, which isn't what we're getting in the store. And so you can grow, Doug, is that you with the noise? And
Yeah.
you can grow 20 to 28 different plants on one tower garden. So this one has the potential for 28 on here. And we love to grow lettuce because lettuce is the thing that when you go to the store, you know, it's kind of like iffy, you know, but this is nice and soft. I love like how soft the lettuce is. And that's like my favorite, you know. And then we can grow awesome tomatoes like the old days where they have flavor, you know. And so we can grow viney plants. We can't grow trees or root vegetables, although people do try.
Hey, Sharon, can you pick that down on the right there? I left a big one for you to pick on the right
This
side.
one?
No, on the
not
right.
here. On the right. Okay. Oh, whoa. I didn't know these were all here.
Yeah, Big Daddy's ready.
The awesome thing is when you do go to harvest, like there's like a bunch right there, then that lets your tower grow even better, you know, because then it's not giving as much energy to this tomato, and now it can go to all these other tomatoes. I know, pretty amazing, huh? We got some heirloom seeds, seeds. So that's just, look, one plant. Look at that. Well, actually, it's 2. There's 2 different tomatoes.
There's 2, yeah.
But I mean, look at all those tomatoes that are coming out of there. Pretty darn amazing. And then we like to use parsley for different dishes. So you just grow what you like, you know. Here's some more parsley, and it's so nice and green. You know, we always encourage people to eat dark, dense fruits and vegetables and herbs because these have antioxidants that help, like with your eyes, with your systems in your body, things like that. This is tarragon, you know, and if you go and get some herbs at the store, how much does it cost for that little tiny thing? And here you cut it off. Like, look, this is cut off. It's just going to grow back. It just keeps growing back. So you're basically saving a lot of money. You're having fun. It's entertainment. It brings a lot of joy, you know. I love the tower garden. It's awesome.
That's great. Anybody have any questions about that tower in particular? We have a little bit of a small crowd tonight, so we can kind of break in with questions halfway through if we want to.
Mm-hmm.
You can also use the chat box in Zoom, and we'll see your questions over there. All right, so if we don't have anything right now,
Sometimes I show the roots. Hold on, let me show the roots too. I usually do this. That's how it gets watered, on the roots. So you don't need dirt, and you don't get all dirty when you're gardening. The tower garden. I love that. Okay, I'll be quiet.
No, that's good. And this is what it actually grows in. This is called rock wool. It's spun volcanic rock. And this is, you see those beautiful red leaf lettuces I'm growing? This is my next babies coming up. I have about another 8 plants ready to go. So when you have a tower garden and you get used to it, you start to learn, what do you like to eat? What grows well? What are you kind of good at growing? And then how many do you need and how often do you need to plant them? And you get this little cycle going. So I just have this cycle where I know that basically once a month I want to plant, 8 lettuce plants. And then I like to keep my basils going and stuff that we're using regularly. So, I mean, I don't have a scientific method down just yet. I know some of the commercial farmers. I am interacting more with those people now, so I'm learning a lot. But and I'll get there. But it's a fun journey to just kind of learn how to grow, learn how to get better all the time. And the cool thing about the tower garden is, to be honest with you, I went about 8 years of not really knowing that much about it, just putting nutrients and water in it and hoping for the best. And it always was pretty good. It's only when you decide to kind of really get a little more serious about it, if you want to grow it a little more, professionally, I guess you would say, you can do that, but it's not necessary. You can pretty much ignore the thing and it grows really well. It's amazing. Check this out. This is a quick video. It's very short, but it's going to show you the basics of how it grows in over a 4-week period and how it works. Oh, I hope I can do this. There we go. This will give a little more close-up view of what Sharon was trying to show you guys inside.
Tower Garden's state-of-the-art aeroponic vertical garden system uses both water and air to produce more colorful, better-tasting, and incredibly nutritious fruits, vegetables, and herbs. Tower Garden has a 20-gallon reservoir at its base that stores the Tower Tonic nutrient solution. Developed by experts in plant and human nutrition, Tower Tonic Mineral Blend enables superior plant growth and better nutrition from your Tower Garden produce. The process begins once the seedlings have been placed in your tower garden. Here they will be nourished with Tower Tonic nutrient solution. Inside the reservoir is a small, low-wattage submersible pump. The pump pushes the nutrient solution up through the tower to the top. From there, the nutrient solution drips through the central tower using a special device that evenly cascades the solution over the exposed plant roots. On the journey down the tower, the nutrient solution feeds the roots and becomes highly oxygenated as it cascades gently down the reservoir. This process is continuous, providing fresh oxygen, water, and nutrients to the roots of the plants. This patented aeroponic process enables food crops to grow faster than they would in soil, so they can be harvested more often. And it makes Tower Garden the healthier, easier, smarter way to grow your produce.
All right. It's a pretty simple technology. It's impressive. I can't find where my Zoom is. Gosh, I'm out of control tonight. Where am I? Who am I? There it is. All right. So I don't think we have anybody that's going to be sharing their other towers. Is there anybody on that wants to? I know Sharon's going to say, I already asked them. Denzel, you got anything growing right now that you can show or no?
Nah, just seedlings. I'm going.
All right. Yeah, seedlings are fun. It's cool as it grows on this rock wool. You see the roots start like wrapping around on here. That's pretty cool. Oh, Belinda's got something going on. Let's get a little.
And
tour
I'll take
over
you
here.
outside too. Let her go first.
Okay, Belinda, I'm going to spotlight you, and unspotlight me. Go ahead, Belinda.
Hello there. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. I'm a first-time tower garden owner, and I'd like to show you my tower garden. I was able to get I had some romaine lettuce and some kale that I grew during the mid part or early part of the summer. And now I'm working on what you see here are my tomatoes. I've not had any success, and I am so wanting to hear from Sharon or you how to make it happen. You see how wild and crazy it looks?
Yeah.
Fruit from my tomato garden.
Well, I think we're going to be able to help you. This is very exciting.
It is.
Do you have any flowers forming on those tomato plants?
Not very many. It may have been because I was not using my pollinator originally. I am now. Let me point out some of the flowers. Can you see that there?
Yeah.
And I have a couple over here, but not very many. I even began cutting it back, Doug. I don't know if that was a smart idea, but it was growing so wild, even after I put the cage pieces on there, that I started cutting back on the plant.
Yeah. Okay, so guys, if you have questions, I'd love to answer them. Let's keep them going in the chat. But let's address some tomato things. I think we can all learn a little bit from this, from
Yeah.
Belinda's tomato plant. First of all, let's just identify that she's growing indoors with what's called the Tower Garden Flex. The Flex, if you show the bottom, has that 20-gallon reservoir that we talked about in the video. And
Yeah.
she has the wheels option, but because she's indoors, she put a lighting kit on it. So now she's able to grow inside, but she also has what's called the tomato cage on there, and that gives a little bit of support to the tomatoes. Now, it's a little brave. Some people don't grow viney plants inside because they do get really big like that. So just moving forward, when you grow tomatoes, there's two types of tomato plants. There's determinate, and those are like bush plants. They stay a little bushier and smaller. That might be a good choice inside and even outside. And then there's indeterminate, which looks like you have there, and those grow into big vines and you can drape them all over the place. Tomatoes need to be pollinated. So typically outside, bees and moths, and hopefully not moths because they'll start to eat your tomatoes, but we love bees. And you can use a little toothbrush or a pollinator or even your finger. I know people that just shake the tree a little bit. And but what you got to do is get the pollen from one of those flowers from the female to the male flower, or vice versa, probably, I would imagine. So I don't know. There was probably more flowers earlier, and they may have gone away a little bit. Correct?
That is correct. As I mentioned, I invested in the bee pollinator. Let me put it over here so everyone can see that. And I began using it perhaps maybe about a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I'm not sure how to identify male from female flower. So I've been pollinating whatever I see that looks like a flower.
Yeah, that's what I do. Because I know on cucumbers, it's easy because you can see the cucumber fruit on there and stuff. But with tomatoes, I don't know the technical details. But yeah, if you just brush that over all your flowers, and make sure that, so there's a couple of things that plants need to be happy. You know, they need adequate light. It looks like there's light because it's growing. It needs water. It needs nutrients. So you're putting your nutrients obviously in there. I would just always double check you're doing the right strength. So if you have 20 gallons, you would be doing 400 milliliters of A and 400 milliliters of B.
Okay.
The other thing it needs is pollination, and you know, having your pH at the right level is important too. So, do you check your pH?
I have.
Okay.
And it seems, you know, I go with the diagram that was given, the chart that was given to me in my box.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I have been checking it. Let me say this: I don't know that I've been doing it every week, probably more monthly. When I run out of water and we need to replace the water or add more water, that's when I go ahead and check. So I'm not doing it weekly. Is that what it's requiring?
Well, I mean, my goodness, that is super cool that you get a month out of your water inside. Outside, it goes a little quicker. But the ideal pH, according to the United States Department of Agriculture, for tomatoes is 6.2 to 6.8. So tomatoes like it a little higher than we sometimes will recommend. So if you go 6, you know, into that deep green mode with no blues forming. Blue is when it's getting high. Brown water, when you put your pH drops in, means you're getting too low. So I would try adjusting your pH a little bit and see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. And let me ask you about pollinating too, Doug. Can I just show you how I would go ahead and do that? And you can tell me not. Oh, you're still able to see. Oh, here we go.
There you go.
What I'm doing.
Can we go to Karen real quick because she's about to get rained on and it's almost dark.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
And then we'll come back to the pollination.
Sure.
Okay.
Sorry to hold up everyone. Okay.
Oh no, it's okay.
No worries.
Everybody needs to know what you're
No,
talking
I wouldn't care, except it's getting ready to rain and I have my Mac out here.
Oh, okay. Yours is outside. Okay.
So I have two of them outside. I have one out back and one out front. And some of the plants, we were gone for most of June. So some of the plants didn't they got eaten by bugs. They were alive, but they got eaten by bugs. But my Swiss chard, my celery, I've got some scallions, I've got some garlic chives, and I've got like other plants that are getting ready to get started. But what I wanted to show you, I don't know if I can do it here. Like, look how big compared to my hand, this Swiss chard grows. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I never liked Swiss chard until I started growing it. It was amazing. And I'll take it and I'll saute it down. And the same thing with the kale. I've got kale plants growing on the back one. So I have the home one out back and I have the flex out front. But I mean, the Swiss chard is crazy.
So what do? You saute with oil and garlic?
Yeah, I actually will make a whole meal with that. So I will take some zucchini, I'll take chickpeas, mushrooms, garlic, sun-dried tomatoes, and a bunch of the Swiss chard, and then saute it up, and it's like a meal for me.
That's great.
Oh,
Thanks for sharing that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I love the way you can grow so many different things. You know, like I've never grown chives. I don't really have much interest in growing chives, but I grow tarragon because I love it in my salad dressings that I make. So it's really cool the way you can kind of nail that down.
Well, and the green onions, some of the stuff too, like the green onions I had bought from the grocery store. And then, you know, I cut down part of the green and then I just let the roots grow and then I planted it in the tower garden. You can do that with celery. You can do that with some other stuff too.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you, Karen. That's awesome. Very good. Very good. And Belinda, when it comes to pollinating, I mean, I don't need to really see it. I mean, you can't really mess that up with, I have one of those too. Nanette told me about it, so I got one. And I do have a list of people that are, hey guys, oh, cool. We got to hop over to them over in the
County
tell us
fair.
where you are.
County fair in Farmington, maybe.
Farmington.
Or Blooming or Bloomfield, one or the other.
Ladies, unmute yourselves.
Just unmute. There you go. Hi.
We're in
Hello,
Farmington,
Yay.
New Mexico, and the Wi-Fi just came on. So we're excited to
Oh, super.
a little bit. And it's very noisy in here, but if you want us to share, we will.
Oh, yes. Let's give us a little tour.
Okay, I'm going to bring it up close. This was planted 4 weeks ago today from seedlings that I got out of Arizona. And you can see all the different lettuces, even, can you guys hear?
Yes, we're good. We hear you.
Okay. And then you can see the squash down here and move around. It's really full and ready to eat off of. It's going to go to Ladera Elementary, which is where Cindy and I wrote a grant several years ago after I had, and then you can see celery back here. We have a couple of them from seeds, like the bok choy. I don't know if you can see that down here.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cilantro, and Gwen brought that so that we could show them 4 weeks of just straight from seeds rather than seedlings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so I had shown a tower garden years ago in a 5th grade classroom at Ladera, and they loved it so much that they ordered 3. And so every year I ask for 1. If I fill it up, then they get it at the end and they can eat off of it, or they can take it in and with kids do a workshop.
That is super. Look at that thing. That is just perfect.
Yeah, look how beautiful all the lettuces are. Really,
Really beautiful. Hey, Gwen, let me ask you a question. How many weeks
Wait a minute.
did you start those? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, how many weeks was the cilantro as in a seedling before you put it in the tower? Is it about 4 weeks? Oh, I think we lost them. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and mute you guys.
I think they're trying to get back on, but she had said 4 weeks in general for all of it.
Yeah, well, I know it's 4 weeks when you those plants are 4 weeks old, but she ordered seedlings.
Oh, okay.
So usually
Right.
seedlings are about 4 weeks. I mean, this is about 3 right here.
Okay.
So I
yeah,
think those are
maybe,
about 8-week-old plants.
yeah, maybe 4 weeks from seedlings. Stacy sent me some pictures too, July 9th to August 10th. And those look like seedlings.
Yeah, that's what comes when you order. So when
And
you have a
then
tower garden, some people order seedlings
4 weeks
from
later. Yeah.
like a professional place that grows seedlings and ships them to you. And then other people grow from seed. You know, and it just depends your preference, how much time you have on your hands and stuff. Hey, Josh, before we start to land a plane pretty soon, I want to make sure we address any questions you might have in case. I know you have a friend sounds like they're a pretty good tower gardener, but if you have any questions for us, please let us know.
Well, yeah, I mean, no, we're just getting started with the whole idea of it. It's obviously seems like a lot. What do you have to buy outside of the tower garden system? You mentioned you get seedlings online, and what else? I mean, what all do you have to do to get started?
Well, the cool thing is, I'm going to highlight my screen too. I'm on the towergarden.com website, and of course, you'll order from your friend or whoever referred to you. But when we buy the tower garden, it literally comes with everything you need. Like here's a tower garden flex right here. This gives you the tower garden, the pump, the nutrients, the up and down pH, the timer, rock wool and seeds. Everything you need other than water is going to come in your package. Now, some people like to, I always recommend, I think they call it like the serious grower option or something. And that's where you can go from 5 levels high up to 7 if you want. It's just an option, but that's a good option. Also getting some extra rock wool, some extra nutrients would be good because they give you a starter amount, but you might want to get 2 more jugs of that. So it's not very much to get a little bit extra. Wheels are another thing you might consider. But other than that, it really comes very complete. It's not like you're going to have to keep running out to the store. Not that there's that many stores, although you can find pumps at Home Depot or the hydroponic stores and stuff like that in case your pump goes down. I also have a you can always get the list from me. I keep a Amazon list going of what I just call tower garden stuff, like that pollinators on there. There's also some special things on there, like there's only 3 things I tend to use on my tower gardens as far as control of pests or anything like that. The pest control is very minimal, but the things I do use in case you get something called aphids, I use this. This is organic, and it takes care of webworms, aphids, beetles, things like that. And you can use it right on the fruit, and it's safe. I have other stuff for people. Citric acid is for cleaning, extra pump that works, a hose for your water filter. Neem oil is a nice preventative type of a thing. It's a fungicide. It also controls aphids, and it literally is just neem oil extract. And so sometimes I'll preemptively, if I'm noticing, but I don't see an infestation or something, I'll just hit it with neem oil like on Sundays each week. If you're growing tomatoes, if you get these things called, what kind of worms are they called? Hornworms. Those suckers will take you out in days. So you got to kind of be ready. So this is called Monterey BT. It's organic, and this will eliminate your hornworms. And it's easy to spot them because you'll start seeing like little black droppings, really tiny droppings on the white deck of the tower garden. Once you see that, you just go ahead and just let it have it. That's what I do.
Is
So
it
yeah,
a
so it comes
spray?
very complete.
Doug, is that a spray? I'm sorry. For the
Yeah, it comes in a
hornworms?
liquid.
Okay.
It comes in a liquid, and I like to get I guess I don't have it on here. I get a sprayer that's about this big, and it
Yeah.
has a handle on it and a pump on the top.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that seems to be a good size where I can just kind of mix up a good batch of that stuff and then use it over and over and over and over again. Sometimes I really need to talk to a horticulturalist about this, but sometimes I'll actually make like a cocktail of those three things mixed together
Oh,
and just start preemptively spraying on Sunday nights. But to be honest with you, in Jacksonville, I don't know why, but we have had almost zero, cross my fingers, pests. We only been here for a year, but it's been really good. Yeah, and Sharon said a great comment. Just washing it down with the hose seems to help too. Absolutely. Yeah. Anything else, Joshua?
You have a problem with any kinds of bigger pests? Like, I don't know, we had iguanas,
Yeah,
birds.
like iguanas. I lived in Coral Springs on a canal.
Yeah.
And I did not protect my tower garden from iguanas at all. Now I do have a cat. So the cat would chase iguanas and kill iguanas, but I haven't heard of terrible problems. Bigger pests. I don't know, Karen, yours are outside. I mean, are you getting deer or anything? No.
See, you heard anything with the iguanas down there?
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, the iguanas are starting to really be an issue in the lawn. I see them all over. And last year was the first year on my tower that we had some iguanas. They don't like everything. They like some things. So if, you try to find things that they don't like.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't like the lettuces. They didn't like most of the lettuces. They kind of liked some of the Swiss chard or kale. But I think the fact that the pump goes on every once in a while, I don't think they like that.
That on and off
And
thing.
if you have any kind of screen, if you have a screened in porch, that's ideal. Then you don't have them at all.
But then you don't have pollination. So you got to keep that in mind.
And as much sun. I had both out front in Fort Lauderdale, and I didn't have an issue with iguanas ever. And people, or anything, even the tomatoes, the cucumbers would all be on the ground. I mean, like right there for like rats, whatever. I never had anything steal it. And the only thing I can come up with is the fact that pump turns off and on, because in the front yard, it wasn't my dogs. They would have been in the backyard. So
yeah, so it's definitely not a deal breaker or anything. It is something that I feel like anything that's kind of come up with the tower, it's pretty solvable. Also, once you're a tower customer, there's a Facebook group you get put into called Tower Farm or Tower to Table, I think. And there's some really good answers in there you can find. But I've had customers that have built out of PVC like a structure around their tower garden with screens and stuff. I just don't think it's necessary, personally. I think I've had more issues, but there haven't been a lot. Certainly not as much as growing in the ground, but more issues with like when hornworms get your tomatoes or something like that. I've never had aphids. I've heard about them, but it's just not that big of a deal. I know sometimes you'll hear once you're in the tower garden group and stuff, or you'll hear people like, "Oh my gosh, I had a problem with this or that," and it's very minor. It's not a big deal, especially in the gardening world, if that's a thing you're into.
What I have found and what I heard from people is that if you're harvesting and your pH is right and you've got the healthy plants, bugs come less. They don't come after healthy plants as much as they're coming after sick plants, or unhealthy plants, or maybe the pH is off or whatever it is. And Josh, I can send you, there's like a long, it's nothing you have to watch, you can listen to. There's a great YouTube video with Tim Blank, the developer. And what I can do is I can send that to you so you can just like do something and then listen. And it's kind of like a bunch of different questions. Then I'm always happy to hop on the phone with you also.
Yeah. I want to show you guys one more thing before we kind of shut down the stream and kind of land the plane a little bit. I always want to try to provide something new as we do these. We're starting to do them either every other week, sometimes every week. So this is the Tower Garden website. But on the blog tab, I find this really helpful. I like these articles, and I go here. I send these to my customers regularly when they have questions. But you can sort these. Where is it? Pests and troubleshooting. There's this article called Six Simple Secrets for a Pest-Free Garden. And it says exactly what Karen was just saying, with a little bit of planning and also keeping a nice, healthy tower. Here's the tips. Grow in a good location. If you have lots of lights and you're not crowding it all in next to each other, maybe you prune it a little bit. Like my tomato plant that Sharon showed tonight, it's growing so well now. Well, before 2 weeks ago, I let it overgrow, and there was just leaves everywhere, and some of the tomatoes even end up rotted or something. I don't know how, but once I trimmed it back, it's just they're ripening better now. They're doing great. Choosing the right crops so that they're growing in the right time of year, and according to your zone. Using strong seedlings, that's a big deal. Like as you learn to grow better seedlings, or if you buy seedlings, you're going to have less problem with pests and stuff. Let's see. Harvesting, not leaving the fruit on there, which I was guilty of. I couldn't even see my tomatoes under there, and then they were rotten, and that was creating flies coming in, and that's just going to bring in more problems. And looking for trouble often. And she's got her spray bottle. It looks like she has soap with neem oil. 1 tablespoon of neem oil per gallon, and just spray them when necessary. It's no big deal. But if you get into trouble, look at here. They have all this specific answers here for aphids, mites, blah, blah, blah. It teaches you how to mix it up. Then for worms and caterpillars, that's the BT. That's the one that I showed you. And then beetles and stuff, that's the pyrrolithin concentrate. And then, so you have these resources available to you right there on the Tower Garden blog, and it makes it super simple. So it's really it's a great system. It really works. We're trying to spread the word to as many people as possible. You wouldn't believe the stuff that's happening out there. I mean, the New York Yankees just installed a Tower Garden farm. In Dubai, they're building currently a Tower Garden commercial farm with 1,200 tower gardens that go up 16 feet high, and they have like 44 ports in each one. So over 45,000 plants growing at once, aeroponically in the desert. Pretty cool stuff. I mean, this is literally changing the world. So there's places like the Bronx where there's food deserts, and people just can't get fresh produce. Well, they're growing in the schools, and they're teaching the kids how to grow fresh food, and the families are eating that food. So it's pretty cool. Aphids a problem for outdoor. Aphids are inside and outside. I don't know how they get inside, but they're like little creepy looking clearish white fly things that crawl. Usually you look under a leaf and you'll see some. And it's not really, they're kind of gross because they're so little and there's so many of them. But, I find you don't let it get to that point. I think I actually did have something like that because I was growing cabbage and I didn't harvest it. And then it got a little mushy or something. And then I started seeing things on it. So I just took it out and got it out of there. I have a big vegetative area behind the house. I just chucked it as far as I could. And I wanted it away from my tower garden. All right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and shut down our streams and stuff. Thanks for joining us. Ask if you have any questions from the person that invited you here. And we'll see you later, Facebook and YouTube.